Isn't it strange that the people, the biggest proponents of democracies and democratic processes, are the people who are chipping away at its foundation, who then get to turn around, point the finger, and blame people who vote like me, people who vote like you and look like you. So today I was tasked with writing a reaction piece to an article which suggested that Plato predicted Donald Trump's presidency. Throughout the article, you already know that democracy and its corrosion are all linked back to Donald Trump. Now, before you think that I'm going to take the time now to contradict all the ways that that's a falsehood, all the ways that I feel like Donald Trump has done good here, Donald Trump has lacked there, I really don't have to. I really don't have to do those things because Plato himself was referenced. And whenever Plato is referenced, I always go back to teacher and student. I pull out Aristotle's works. If you're familiar with Aristotle's politics, then you are probably want to know that democracy as a form of government wasn't met with a lot of applause or cheers. Democracy, much like many other forms of government, if listed, would probably end up on the naughty list, but among the naughty list, it would probably rank as the best one if you had to choose between your heart or your lungs. Now, it's been a while, but I remember something to the extent of if a democracy could be sustained, if it could be sustained, it would thrive in a place where the citizens were equal in education, in principles, in morals, in ethics. In education, especially education in arts and sciences, music, gymnastics. A democracy thrives where the middle class thrives, where it is larger than the poor class, where it is certainly larger than that of the rich. There's something special about the middle class because they do not plunder the rich, and they don't make quarrels with the poor. A democracy thrives where civilians and citizens know that at any moment they can be called to lead. Perhaps in the same way that you and I are familiar with our juror system. We go to the mailbox, we get that letter in the mail, and we know that society has called upon us to be a judge. We get to decide someone else's fate. Well, imagine a place and time where all citizens were equal on every front, on every facet, and they were obligated with education and remaining virtuous because at any point in time they could stand up to lead their natural home. This is where a democracy might stand a chance. So I ask you, good people who believe in democracies, what is democracy today? My biggest quarrel with the article wasn't that it nitpicked with Donald Trump. My biggest quarrel was that if we just go back to Plato, back to Aristotle, back to this teacher-student intellectuals who are far light years ahead than any one professor in academia today, we would understand that Plato did not predict Donald Trump's presidency. He predicted, if anything, how democracies are doomed to fail. He predicted their nature. He described what they were. He talked about where they could best sustain themselves. And above all, I'd like to remind all of you that Donald Trump has only been in the office for 4 years. As far back as you can remember, agents in politics have always ran for presidential nominations by telling you that democracy was at risk. before a Donald Trump, which tells me that democracy has always been at risk. We've been doing something wrong. And when I look around, am I surprised at the state of democracy today? Absolutely not. Because if Plato could envision the best natural environment for a democracy to thrive, then I can take stock of where we are now in civilization. And I can tell you with full confidence, we as a polis are not united on anything, really. Some of us come here, we don't even speak the same language. As far as education is concerned, some tribes have their education bar set higher than others who get it lowered for them because agents in politics feel like that's fair. And that's going to help civilization in a democracy. Are we same in education? In gymnastics and arts and sciences, where are we united? But it doesn't end there. Most people who champion themselves on being Democrats today, I don't think they know what a democracy is. If you walk around with the position that democracy is failing in 2020, how are you measuring it? Do you think it's simply enough that everyone gets to vote in a democratic electoral process where the majority vote wins? Is that enough democracy for you? Because if you haven't realized, every agent in politics is a panderer. They're a demagogue. They run off of your prejudices. They appeal to you. They only include you when they're running because they need your vote. Right? Once you vote for them and the majority vote wins, once they ascend to Congress or the Senate, my friends, democracy ends. Now they are a ruling class in and of themselves. That's something like an oligarchy. It has an oligarchical spirit. Notice that those politicians who you place into power, they no longer call you when they have legislation on their desk. They don't call you to ask, hey, should I vote yay or nay for this policy? They rule. They set the decree, and then they enforce it with authority. And I would also like to bring your attention to this fact. How much can you really care about democracy when you go around talking about classes and how they should be eradicated? You move towards making a permanent underclass. You move without realizing that without classes, what would become of democracy? Each class has their own individual stake in the democratic process. You might not like the rich. The rich certainly don't like the poor. And the middle class is just trying to swim. Eradicate the classes. Will we have a democracy or an oligarchy? What will we have? It seems more and more like the people who pride themselves on being proponents for democracy are the people who are dismantling it, and then they're privileged enough to remain in their ignorance and not realize that they're blind tools who turn around, point the finger, and blame those who look like me, who vote like me, for being enemies of democracy. Above all, how does a democracy thrive if it has no classes? Wait, most people march around today talking about how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The rich have their boots on your necks, don't they? Well, right now we're moving to put the poor's boots on the rich's neck. Do you see the problem there? Why haven't we questioned these things by now, my woke friends? Once you get rid of the classes, what will become of your democracy? You'll have a permanent underclass, to those rulers you elect to rule you. And sorry to say, but that's been in motion since before a Donald Trump ascended to presidency. So in that, I'll leave you guys with this. What is democracy to you? How do you measure it? How do you know that it's working? Have you guys felt the oligarchical spirit too? Or maybe our Democratic friends may show us a better way. Maybe we have it all wrong. Peace and love always. Take it easy out there, Patriots. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out that link in my bio, which takes you directly to my GoFundMe campaign, which is the fight to end political bias in universities. Independents, conservatives, libertarians get smashed at universities, but it's about time we hold our professors accountable. This is a campaign that any student can get behind, no matter what walk of life you're from. It's time to ask our professors, where does your academic freedom end and where does mine begin? Donate today, and don't forget to wish me luck on my journey as I take my university to task for the political bias they've shown me. I'm going up against Goliath, but with your help, I can do it.